Now, to conclude this introduction to events, which is another core feature, as you can clearly tell, let me show you one other directive which you will very rarely need, but which sometimes in niche scenarios could be helpful. Let's say, for whatever reason, here in this app, we want to make sure that when we change the counter here, the output here doesn't change, so that the initial value of the counter is preserved here. Now you might wonder why we might want to do that. Let's say we have another paragraph where we simply output the starting counter value, and we want to point at the counter property we're managing in our view instance, so that if we ever change it here, we do reflect that correct starting counter here. But we want to make sure that the starting counter never changes. And right now, of course, since we reference counter, it will change whenever we change the counter. If you have such a scenario that you have some data that changes, and you want to preserve the initial state and not reflect any other changes, there is a special directive you can put onto the element where you are using that dynamic value in. And that's the v_once directive, which is built into Vue. This tells Vue that any dynamic data bindings, like this interpolation here, on this element should only be evaluated once. So if that value changes thereafter, here in this place, it'll not be reflected, it'll not be updated. So now if I reload, we see the starting counter 10 here, but if I change the counter, it only changes down there in the second green box and not in the first one. Now again, this is a niche feature, but it is useful to be aware of it if you ever had a scenario like this where you need to lock an initial value in. v_once can help you with that.